Welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. Of course, now here we are, well into 2014. And we have to start taking a very careful look at ourselves and what we do and how we do it, because if we're going to be the productive agent this year we want to become, we have to start modeling ourselves after other people are also productive. See, one of the things that I believe very strongly in is that we have to have mentors and coaches and trainers. And I'm not saying that to sell you anything that we have, because that's up to you. But see, all my life, I've had mentors and coaches and people training me. I've shared this with some of you in the past. I mean, way back in 1973, 74, 75, I hired two of the best, what I thought were leadership, management, and sales coaches in the world, Dr. Gunther Kloss and the wonderful and incredible Mike Vance. I was paying him $2,000 a month each in 1974 to coach me and train me on how to build and start the business, which I started in 1975. I was paying $4,000 a month in the early 70s. We can't get most of you to spend $295 to come to a seminar for 4 days and they'll just teach you how to sell. Well, watch, guys and gals. We have to, at some point, understand that if we have a role model up here, if we have somebody that can help us who's here when we're here, and we can learn from them, we can do a better job. If you attended by chance in 2013, either the retreat we did in Las Vegas in July, or in October, Miami Beach, or even this year, January 2014, the production retreat in San Diego, we did something which, of course, every speaker is now copying. We did a series of blueprints. And those blueprints were fascinating because what we did is we took and asked about, well, I guess there must have been 20 or so of the top agents in the world to outline step by step, create a blueprint on how they built their business, and then we presented those off the stage. Fascinating. So many of you, responded in such a positive manner. Well, to help you understand the value of looking up at somebody doing more, in January, I did a survey of about 750 of our top agents that we work with. These people are involved in coaching with us, so I'm not even going to disguise for a minute. These are great clients of my company. But we did a survey because I want to find out, what are they thinking? What are they doing? And is it duplicatable? Could you do it also? And worst case, if I was to give you their responses, would that give you a target? Would that give you something to look up to, something to shoot for, to try to match their productivity? We had 664 responses out of 750 surveys we send out. I'm going to quickly go through it with you right now, just to give you a little bit of a roadmap as to what you can expect if you stay with the Mike Ferry Organization, the training we offer, and stay with the type of thinking that we keep trying to convince you to be part of. So the first question I asked is, how long have you been full-time in real estate? Our average client has been in real estate 16.8 years. That's a long time. These are veterans. Now, you and I both know there are three types of people in real estate. The ones that have been around forever, that are doing a small amount of business. That huge group that have been around 3 or 4 years that are doing both large and small amounts of business. And then the newbies. Well, interestingly enough, how many of the real veterans are big-time clients of ours? They understand the value of training. How long have you been involved in coaching with the Mike Ferry Organization? The average was 9.9 years. You mean they join coaching and stay forever? Yes, they stay forever. Why? Because they're always learning. Third question, have you been involved in any of our competitors' coaching programs? 19% said yes, they had tested the waters with our competitors. 80% said no, we've never done anything but the Mike Ferry Organization. I don't know why you think that you want to leave us and go someplace else just to come running back. Stay with us. Makes more sense. Okay? How many MFO events do you attend on an annual basis? They average 3.2 events per year. Action workshops, productivity schools, sales talk workshops, production retreats, superstar retreats. We do 40 to 45 events a year. We do another 8 or 10 in Canada. And now we're doing them all over Europe. You want to have some fun? Come to Europe to one of our events. I get to do those. We get to go to Europe 3 times a year and do events over there. Love to see you. The people that are highly productive are heavily involved in our events. Watch the next question. How many hours of prospecting do you complete in an average week? Uh-oh, Mike Ferry's talking about prospecting again. How many hours of prospecting in an average week? Now watch, 664 top agents. They average 13.9 hours of prospecting per week. Okay, we have to set a standard for ourselves. How many hours do you prospect per week? Honestly, okay? If the people doing 75, 85, 95, 120 transactions per year are prospecting 13.9 hours per week, should it be a consideration for you to do the same type of thing? If we're going to have a mentor that we look up to and say, boy, that person has got to there, how do I get there? And they tell you, this is what I do to get there, wouldn't we want to consider trying it? Just a thought for you, okay? What percentage of what Mike Ferry teaches do you actually use? Interesting. The average is only 50%, actually 51.3%. Use what we teach. Well, then, therefore, Mike, you're seeing that your people don't always do what you ask. Oh, I've known that forever. Can you imagine if you actually did everything we teach, what your productivity would be like? Holy smoly, you'd go through the roof. You wouldn't be the top producer in the office. You'd be the top producer in the state. Well, Mike, I'm the top producer in the office now doing 12 deals a year. Wait till you find out what these people do. Watch the next one. How many listing appointments do you go on? How many listing appointments will you go on per month in 2014? They're going to average 23 listing appointments per month. 23 a month. How many are you going on per month? Do you understand yet the value of listing property versus working with buyers? Do you take the path of least resistance and work with buyers all the time? Because that's the easy way. The trouble is it's not the productive way. You're never going to find an agent who's highly productive that works with buyers. They all work with listings. These people go on 23 listing appointments a month. How many of you gone in January, February, March, and April so far? Have you gone on 23 in 4 months? Have you gone on 4 in 4 months? Watch the next question. How many listings will you take per month in 2014? They average 16. 16. Which ties to the next question. Now watch, we're setting a standard. We're setting a bar. We're setting something for you to look up to and focus on, something for you to get to. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. So don't be intimidated. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. Don't get negative. Don't be saying to the people around you, oh, this is a bunch of crap. Hey, it's not a bunch of crap. 664 responses. Not a bunch of crap. This is reality. This is what the top producers are saying. Do I wish they were doing better? Of course. But they're doing real well compared to most people. It's just a standard. All right, so watch the next question. Your closing ratio on appointments to listings is, the average was 70%. It was actually 69.99999. 70% of the time when they go on a listing, they get the listing. By the way, we did some research on this. On the 30%, half the time they turn the people down. They don't want the listing. The people are negative, they're nasty, they're hostile. They want the commissions cut. They want extensive advertising. They want to give them a 30-day listing. They want a price up here. And then half the time, they just don't get the listing. Are you getting it all? Well, Mike, I get it 90% of the time, but you're going on 2 listing presentations per year. I don't think we quite can compare that, can we? All right. The anticipated sell ratio on your listings in 2014 is 80%. They anticipate that in 2014, 80% of the listings they take will sell. Well, Mike, I'm at 100%. Yeah, but you listed your home for sale last year and it sold. That's not quite the same. What percentage of your total transactions come from listings sold versus buyer-controlled sales? 664 agents, 70.5% of their total business is listings sold. Most of you that we talk to are running about 30% listings sold, 70% buyer-controlled sales, which is why your productivity is not where it is supposed to be. How many transactions will you close in 2014? They're going to average 96. 96. What will your gross income be? I don't know why I asked that question. It's meaningless. Everybody's sales price is different. Their average was $800,000. But now let's get back to the nitty-gritty. If you're operating a team, because everybody wants to talk about a team, how many assistants do you have? 664 agents. They average 1.7 assistants. Interesting, isn't it? because that kind of blows out that concept. They all have these big teams, because they don't have big teams. And if you're operating an actual team, how many showing agents do you have? They averaged 1. Well, I'd like to have 5 showing agents. What are you, nuts? Think about it. Doesn't even make sense. All right. Of the total transactions you'll do in 2014, how many will you do personally versus your team? And the answer was about 87% is done by the agent, meaning I go out and take listings and all of you sell them for me. Isn't that a great deal? I become the employer and you're my employees in my town. And then, of course, your best prospecting technique is almost 90% said it was working my database effectively. Now, you may be discouraged, turned off, not like the survey. That's up to you. It's okay if you don't like it. But all I wanted to do today was help you set a standard. As I said, set a bar. Have you see somebody that may be doing better than you that you can look up to? Because see, the truth is, most of our viewers, and we have about, I guess it's 10 to 12,000 viewers a week, aren't doing 95 transactions a year. I hope you are, and I hope you get better. But if we can create a standard for you to look up to, if we can create a standard to measure against, if we can create a little accountability between yourself and yourself as to what you want to accomplish, man, this has been a great week. And I'm looking forward to sharing more good ideas with you next week. See you then.